How's it going, everybody? The PlayStation Days of Play sale is running from now until June 10th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, that's enough yapping from me, so let's get straight into it. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 6 is an action horror thriller that delivers 4 intersecting campaigns, fast-paced combat, and explosive set pieces that push the series in a bold, cinematic, and wildly ambitious new direction. Follow Leon, Chris, Jake, and Ada across outbreaks filled with bioterror threats, shootouts, and tense encounters, as each storyline blends gameplay styles, shifting perspectives, and memorable character moments. It's a 71 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, The Artful Escape is a psychedelic musical adventure about a teenage guitar prodigy forging his own cosmic stage persona. Shred through vibrant rhythm-based platforming sequences across surreal alien landscapes, craft a flamboyant sci-fi identity with customizable backstory and dazzling stage style, and interact with eccentric beings voiced by Lena Headey and Jason Schwartzman as music dynamically shapes the world around you. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 5 brings one of the most popular entries in the survival horror series to PlayStation 4 in full 1080p HD with a smoother frame rate, delivering intense, thrilling action and cooperative gameplay with cinematic flair and updated controls. Play solo or the friend as Chris Redfield and Shiva Alomar battle bioorganic threats across Africa, uncovering a sinister plot while facing hordes of infected enemies and powerful bosses. It's an 86 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Fashion Police Squad is a humorous retro FPS where you fight fashion crime as Sergeant Dez, armed with weapons like the Belt of Justice and weaponized sock gnomes across the streets of Trendopolis. Each enemy requires the right fashion solution, so you'll need to switch weapons strategically, all while uncovering a fabulous story full of dazzling encounters, fierce runway shows, and the baddest bosses in the fashion industry. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 0 is the chilling prequel that uncovers the events leading up to the iconic mansion incident, setting the stage for the entire Resident Evil saga. You'll alternate between rookie medic Rebecca Chambers and escaped convict Billy Cohen, using each of their abilities to solve intricate puzzles, manage scarce resources, and fight through terrifying biological monstrosities aboard a runaway train and deep within a secret Umbrella facility. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is an over-the-top action adventure where Kenshiro, master of Hokuto Shinken, unleashes devastating martial arts techniques to obliterate foes and uphold justice in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. You'll chain combos and explore Eden's open world, while engaging in bizarre side activities like bartending and buggy racing, blending intense combat with absurdly entertaining minigames. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 4 is the survival horror shooter that revolutionized the genre, remastered in full 1080p with a smoother frame rate, sharper visuals, and all previously released bonus content. Step into the role of Leon S. Kennedy as he travels to a remote European village on a desperate mission to rescue the president's daughter, only to uncover a nightmarish cult infected with a mind-controlling parasite. It's a 96 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 90% off, Control Ultimate Edition combines the base game with all expansions, including the Foundation and AWE, delivering a complete, visually stunning experience. Step into the Federal Bureau of Control, where a corrupted presence threatens reality itself, and wield telekinetic powers alongside transforming weaponry to annihilate enemies, manipulate environments, and uncover dark secrets throughout unpredictable levels. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil is the survival horror game that defined the genre, now fully remastered in HD with updated visuals, smoother gameplay, and dramatically enhanced sound design for an even more immersive experience. In 1998, a Special Forces team is sent to investigate bizarre murders on the outskirts of Raccoon City, only to be ambushed by bloodthirsty dogs and forced to seek refuge in a sprawling, eerie mansion. It's a 90 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Mortal Kombat XL is the definitive edition of the acclaimed fighting game, combining the main Mortal Kombat X experience with a massive roster of new and returning characters for intense, brutal, and cinematic battles across multiple modes. You'll master fast-paced cinematic combat with unique abilities, fatalities, and combos, facing off in both single-player modes and online multiplayer against friends or global competitors. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis sends you back to a collapsing Raccoon City as Jill Valentine fights to escape while the unstoppable Nemesis hunts her across the chaos. This enhanced version adds rewind, quick save, up-rendering, and customizable visual filters, making the survival horror classic smoother to play while still capturing its frantic escapes, branching scenarios, and tense item management. It's an 88 on Game Rankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for this yet. Hopefully it gets added soon. For $5, 75% off, What Remains of Edith Finch is a narrative-focused first-person adventure where you return to the towering, maze-like Finch house to uncover the intimate stories behind each family member's final day and gradually unravel their unforgettable legacy. You'll move through shifting vignettes that mix clever mechanics, striking visual transitions, and rich environmental details as you inhabit different Finches across eras and emotional tones. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, Resident Evil Director's Cut is a survival horror adventure where you uncover the secrets of a remote mansion after the STARS team is trapped during a grisly murder investigation in the Arklay Mountains. You'll explore claustrophobic corridors filled with undead creatures, manage scarce resources with careful strategy, and solve environmental puzzles that slowly reveal the mansion's twisted experiments. It's an 86 on Game Rankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support yet. Hopefully it gets added soon. For $5, 75% off, Slime Rancher is a charming first-person sandbox adventure where you play as Beatrix LeBeau, a plucky young rancher who leaves Earth to start a new life on the distant, colorful, whimsical Far Far Range. You'll collect dozens of adorable slimes, grow crops, and explore vast, untamed landscapes, while upgrading your all-purpose backpack, expanding your ranch, and experimenting with over 150 hybrid slime combinations. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil Revelations 2 Deluxe Edition is a survival horror thriller that follows Claire Redfield and Barry Burton through 4 interwoven episodes filled with suspense, grotesque creatures, and chilling environments. You navigate claustrophobic locations, solve puzzles, and fight off relentless enemies while uncovering a dark conspiracy, with each episode revealing more about the characters and their harrowing circumstances. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma is a suspenseful, story-driven puzzle adventure that pushes the boundaries of interactive storytelling and psychological tension, mystery, and intrigue. Players navigate diabolical new puzzles, tackle intricate logic challenges, and fully animated story sections, making critical decisions that branch into multiple endings while uncovering the fates of a robust cast of both new and familiar characters. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, Resident Evil 2 is the original PlayStation survival horror classic, now enhanced with up-rendering, rewind, quick save, and customizable video filters to modernize the fear-filled, nostalgia-packed experience. Follow rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy on his first day in Raccoon City and Claire Redfield on her search for her missing brother as the two navigate zombie-infested streets and unravel Umbrella's sinister secrets. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, and unfortunately there's no trophy support for this yet. Hopefully we get it soon. For $4, 70% off, Donut County is a physics-based puzzle game where you control an ever-growing hole, swallowing trash, objects, and the quirky residents of a whimsical town to uncover a humorous, surprisingly heartfelt story. You'll explore unique homes, solve inventive puzzles by moving and enlarging the hole, and catapult items to trigger chain reactions while interacting with adorable characters and uncovering the consequences of your mischief. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil Revelations is a survival horror classic remastered in full HD, featuring all DLC, enhanced lighting, sharper textures, and new gameplay improvements that make this the definitive version to play. Set between Resident Evil 4 and 5, you'll take on the role of Jill Valentine as she explores a derelict cruise ship drifting through the Mediterranean, searching for Chris Redfield while uncovering a chilling bioterror conspiracy. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For For $4, 60% off, Doom 3 is a critically acclaimed action horror shooter that reimagines the original Doom, plunging you into a demon-infested Mars facility as a lone marine fighting to stop a full-scale invasion from Hell. Navigate dark, claustrophobic corridors, battle terrifying enemies, and balance intense, shotgun-driven gunplay with survival horror elements as flickering lights, oppressive sound design, and sudden ambushes keep you on edge. It's an 87 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Narita Boy is a retro-fueled action-adventure that throws you into the neon-soaked digital kingdom as a pixel hero wielding the legendary Techno Sword to restore corrupted code and recover the creator's lost memories. Slash through corrupted stallions with stylish combo-driven combat, explore synth-drenched world brought to life with hand-drawn pixel animations, and battle wild bosses to an electrifying 80s-inspired soundtrack. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Risk of Rain is a fast-paced, intense roguelike action game that challenges players to survive increasingly difficult waves of enemies while exploring massive, procedurally generated levels. Play solo or engage in local and online multiplayer with friends and other players from around the world, unlocking 12 unique characters from the Commando to the Miner and Engineer, each with distinct abilities. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 80% off, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is a high-octane 2D fighting game featuring frenetic 3-on-3 tag battles where iconic Marvel and Capcom characters clash in spectacular, fast-paced, over-the-top combat. You'll master combos, chain devastating attacks, and experiment with team strategies in modes like Heroes and Heralds, then test your skills online against players worldwide in intense, competitive multiplayer matches. It's an 81 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Unravel is a puzzle platformer that introduces Yarny, a lovable character made from a single thread of yarn that slowly unravels as you explore the snow-dusted landscapes of northern Scandinavia. Using Yarny's thread to swing from branches, hitch rides on kites, and overcome inventive environmental challenges that test both skill and timing, you'll embark on a heartfelt journey through levels that symbolize the ties that bind loved ones. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Yoku's Island Express is an open-world adventure where you play as Yoku, a tiny postman navigating Mokomata Island using a unique and inventive blend of pinball mechanics, platforming, and exploration. You'll seamlessly traverse lush beaches, snowy mountains, and steamy hot springs, completing quests, helping quirky locals, and awakening ancient deities while uncovering the island's deep mysteries. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Children of Morta is a roguelite action RPG that follows the Bergson family, heroes bound by love and sacrifice, as they battle the spreading corruption threatening their homeland. You control 7 family members with unique abilities, exploring varied dungeons, uncovering secrets, and strategically combining skills and items while navigating procedurally generated challenges that test both combat and cooperation. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, the Disney Afternoon Collection is a retro compilation featuring 6 classic Disney platformers starring characters like Scrooge McDuck, Darkwing Duck, Baloo, and Chip and Dale. Relive globe-trotting adventures in cooperative platforming while tackling boss rush and time attack modes, using the rewind feature for second chances, and exploring a museum packed with concept art and music. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, God Eater Resurrection is a high-octane, action-packed RPG set in a stylish, anime-inspired post-apocalyptic world where humanity battles monstrous origami to survive against overwhelming odds. Play as a new type God Eater wielding a versatile god arc that shifts between blade and gun, mastering charge, combo, step, and aerial attacks to hack, slash, and shoot through relentless enemy hordes with precision and flair. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $5, 88% off, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a tag team fighting game where heroes and villains unite to stop Ultron Sigma from wiping out all biological life. Assemble dream teams from both universes, harness the power of the Infinity Stones to alter battle mechanics mid-fight, and clash in cinematic 2v2 fights across stages inspired by Avengers Tower and other fused worlds pulled from both factions in explosive showdowns. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off. Alba, a wildlife adventure, is a feel-good game where you join Alba on a summer visit to her grandparents' Mediterranean island, ready to explore wildlife, collect resources, and protect the environment. Together with her friend Inez and her bird-loving grandfather, you clean up litter, rescue animals in danger, and rally townspeople to save the island, all while enjoying handcrafted visuals and relaxing music. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Unravel 2 is a heartfelt puzzle platformer where you create your own Yarny and embark on a cooperative journey of connection, courage, and discovery. You'll traverse beautifully crafted environments, from cold, desolate landscapes to vibrant forests and sunlit shores, solving physics-based puzzles that require creativity and teamwork to overcome obstacles, collect secrets, and unravel the world's mysteries together. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is a thrilling action-adventure where Lara Croft's origin story comes to life in a beautifully rebuilt, next-gen world full of danger and mystery. You'll explore lush environments, solve intricate puzzles, and survive high-octane combat while customizing weapons, crafting gear, and navigating treacherous terrain that tests both skill and strategy, uncovering hidden secrets and ancient relics along the way. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off. Torchlight 2 is a fast, fun, and loot-filled action RPG set in a quirky world of bloodthirsty monsters, bountiful treasures, and sinister secrets, where you choose from 4 distinct classes with robust skill trees and adventure solo or with up to 4 players online through vast, randomized areas. Pets fight alongside you or venture out to sell your loot while you keep exploring, ensuring fresh layouts and monsters across every run. It's an 88 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 65 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Powerslave Exhumed is a Kex engine port of the classic first-person shooter set in ancient Egypt, where a covert operative fights through over 20 levels of alien-occupied Karnak spanning an ancient city and the tomb of Pharaoh Ramses. Explore multi-floor levels with real-time 3D movement, cross bridges, swim through underwater grottos, and arm yourself with weapons from a machete to a flamethrower, M60, and magical cobra staff. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Make Way is a chaotic top-down multiplayer racing game where you build and battle across ever-changing tracks, snapping together loops, corkscrews, seesaws, and train crossings, while dodging hazards and using weapons like goo cannons and Tesla coils as courses grow increasingly perilous. Each round adds new track pieces and surprises, forcing quick thinking while unlocking vehicles, track pieces, and toggling traps or safety barriers. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is a disturbing point-and-click adventure where 5 tortured survivors are imprisoned by the insane supercomputer AM and forced to confront their deepest fears. Assume each character's role across unique environments, unraveling traumatic past through psychological puzzles and morally charged decisions rooted in guilt, paranoia, and despair, all adapted from Harlan Ellison's legendary short story. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Lost in Random is a gothic fairy tale-inspired action-adventure where fate itself is dictated by the roll of a die, pulling you into a twisted kingdom ruled by a cruel queen and divided into 6 shadowy realms. You follow Even and her living dice companion Dicey through eerie streets and storybook locations, blending real-time combat with tactical card play and chance-driven dice mechanics as you fight inside shifting board game arenas. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Minit is an adventure played in 60-second increments, where you explore the world outside your home to help unusual folk and defeat dangerous foes, all while racing against a curse that ends each day after just 1 minute. Every choice matters as you traverse forests, villages, and mysterious ruins, solving clever puzzles, discovering hidden items, and unlocking shortcuts that make each run feel fresh and rewarding. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Overcooked Gourmet Edition combines the chaotic, fast-paced fun of the hit co-op cooking game with a Lost Morsel content pack, challenging 1 to 4 players to prepare, cook, and serve dishes under extreme time pressure in hilariously absurd kitchens. The Lost Morsel expansion adds 6 new campaign levels, a new vehicle for map travel, and 6 unlockable chefs, extending the culinary chaos. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Burnout Paradise Remastered is an open-world driving game where you tear through the streets of Paradise City, performing high-speed stunts, wreaking havoc, and mastering daring crashes at blistering arcade speeds. You'll explore downtown avenues, mountain roads, and the expanded Big Surf Island while competing in races, challenges, and chaotic online multiplayer mayhem with friends or other players worldwide. It's an 88 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Dragon Ball Xenoverse is an action RPG where you create and fully customize your own warrior to embark on epic online and offline adventures across the Dragon Ball universe. You'll train under iconic Dragon Ball characters, learn powerful new skills, fight alongside Trunks to restore the original story, and explore the bustling Toki Toki City Hub where you can team up with or battle over 200 players worldwide in multiplayer tournaments. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Saints Row 4 Re-Elected is an over-the-top open-world action game where the leader of the 3rd Street Saints becomes president and battles an alien warlord inside a reality-bending simulation to save Earth from destruction. Remastered for modern consoles, it features updated visuals, models, environments, and dynamic shadows, bringing Steelport's chaotic, vibrant world to life with sharper detail and cinematic flair. It's an 84 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Agent A, A Puzzle in Disguise is a stylish secret agent puzzle game where you step into the shoes of Agent A to track down the elusive Ruby LaRouge in her retro-futuristic hideout. Explore 35 unique 1960s-inspired environments filled with clever inventory-based puzzles, hidden gadgets, and mind-bending logic challenges, while making careful observations and connecting clues to solve 100 intricate puzzles across 50 puzzle screens. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Going Under is a roguelike dungeon crawler set beneath the ruins of failed tech startups, where you play as an unpaid intern battling corporate nightmares in a dystopian city. Descend into procedurally generated dungeons themed around gig economy apps, crypto schemes, and dating startups, using breakable office junk like laptops, brooms, and keyboards as weapons while uncovering the shady motives of your employer. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour is a classic action shooter where you blast aliens, save Earth, and deliver iconic one-liners in over-the-top, chaotic style, revisiting all the humor and carnage that made the original legendary. Play all new Episode 5 with bonus content, re-recorded dialogue from John St. John, and a fresh score from original composer Lee Jackson, all fully remastered with updated visuals. It's an 87 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, After the Fall Complete Edition is a VR multiplayer shooter set in a frozen, post-apocalyptic 1980s Los Angeles overrun by mutated undead, where you team up with up to 3 fellow harvest runners to slay massive hordes and towering bosses while fueling humanity's survival. Craft, upgrade, and wield dozens of weapons with real-life VR movements across a mission-based campaign, competitive Tundra Dome mode, and all released content updates. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Enter the Gungeon is a fast-paced bullet-hell dungeon crawler where you guide misfit heroes through deadly, trap-filled floors to claim the legendary gun that can kill the past. You'll dodge, shoot, and loot while facing adorable yet deadly gundead, ruthless bosses, and hundreds of unique guns, from lasers to bees, as you bargain with merchants, uncover secrets, and unlock powerful items to survive increasingly chaotic challenges. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Broken Age is a whimsical point-and-click adventure where you follow Vela Tartine and Shea Volta, 2 teenagers navigating strange, magical worlds while confronting challenges that shape their futures and personal growth. Switch between their stories, solve inventive puzzles, interact with quirky characters, and enjoy a fully orchestrated original soundtrack while experiencing witty dialogue, clever humor, and an all-star voice cast. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Batora Lost Haven is a choice-driven isometric action RPG where you follow Avril, a survivor traveling across alien worlds to restore her lost home while questioning sacrifice, morality, and the true cost of survival. Explore visually striking galaxy of mysterious planets, interact with strange inhabitants, solve atmospheric puzzles, and make narrative choices that blur the line between right and wrong and shape the story's outcome. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Dead Rising 2 Off the Record is a reimagined action-adventure zombie game that follows photojournalist Frank West as he returns to Fortune City to investigate the outbreak and document the chaos in his own daring style. Battle hordes of zombies, craft outrageous combo weapons, and explore all new areas while following unique missions, surviving deadly attractions, and uncovering the city's darkest hidden secrets. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Rough Justice 84 is a single-player, board game-inspired strategy experience where you run a private security agency in a gritty, crime-ridden city. You'll hire agents, assign them to security, repossession, and fugitive recovery cases, and use dice rolls, cards, and careful planning to overcome requirements while managing stats, gear durability, limited resources, and escalating risks. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $5, 50% off, Saturday Morning RPG is an episodic JRPG set in a world inspired by 1980s Saturday morning cartoons and pop culture, where high schooler Marty gains incredible powers and faces the notorious Commander Hood. You battle enemies in turn-based combat, explore diverse environments across Shadow Valley, and level up using items to strengthen Marty, overcome obstacles, and discover secrets hidden throughout the world. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Ghost of a Tale is a stealth-driven adventure where you play as Tilo, a courageous minstrel mouse trying to escape the dungeons of Dwindling Heights Keep and find his lost love, Mera. Set in a medieval world ruled by rats and filled with crumbling ruins, twisting corridors, and lush outdoor areas, the game blends exploration and immersive storytelling with a painterly art style and meticulous attention to atmosphere. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, Livelock is a cooperative top-down shooter where you play as one of the last capital intellects, solo or with up to 2 allies, tasked with breaking the cycle of endless machine warfare and unlocking Eden to revive humanity. Battle through chaotic encounters demanding mastery of your arsenal, coordinate with teammates to exploit unique class abilities, and unleash devastating skills like orbital lasers, automated drones, and shockwaves. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Deus Ex Mankind Divided is a cyberpunk action RPG set in 2029, where mechanically augmented humans are feared, segregated, and pushed to the fringes of society. You play as Adam Jensen, now an elite covert agent, navigating dense hub-based environments through stealth, hacking, combat, or diplomacy, with deep freedom to customize cutting-edge augmentations, weapons, and abilities to suit lethal or non-lethal playstyles. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, The Flame and the Flood Complete Edition is a gripping wilderness survival game where a girl and her loyal dog travel on foot and by raft down a procedurally generated river. This Complete Edition adds gameplay enhancements, improved mechanics, and a director's commentary mode, complemented by an original alt-country soundtrack from Chuck Reagan and the Camaraderie to create a hauntingly atmospheric experience. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Valkyria Chronicles Remastered is a tactical action strategy RPG set in an alternate history 1930s Europe, where you lead Velk and Gunther and Squad 7 as they defend Gallia from a powerful Imperial invasion. You'll command troops across watercolor-style battlefields using a blend of turn-based planning and real-time movement, while upgrading weapons, unlocking new squad abilities, and experiencing a heartfelt wartime story. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Greak, Memories of Azur is a hand-drawn side-scrolling adventure where you control 3 Koran siblings working together to survive an ongoing invasion and escape the war-torn lands of Azur. Seamlessly switch between the trio to solve cleverly crafted puzzles, engage in fast-paced combat against invading forces, and gather scattered airship components across an interconnected world to rebuild your means of escape. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, Shantae, Risky's Revenge Director's Cut is a vibrant side-scrolling action platformer where half-genie hero Shantae sets out to stop the mischievous pirate Risky Boots and save Sequin Land from disaster. Using magical belly dance transformations, you explore deserts, forests, and labyrinths while turning into creatures like a monkey and mermaid to solve puzzles and overcome massive bosses. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 65% off, South of the Circle is a cinematic narrative adventure where you play as Peter, a Cambridge academic stranded in Cold War Antarctica as his past and relationships unfold. Make emotional choices, explore a richly detailed setting, and experience a deeply personal story through motion-captured performances, shifting timelines, and a focus on love, ambition, and the consequences of life's decisions. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 50% off, Shantae is the action-adventure platformer that introduced players to the half-genie heroine as she hair whips, dances, and transforms to collect 4 elemental stones and stop the nefarious pirate Risky Boots. Explore sequence forests, deserts, swamps, and icy peaks, tackle labyrinths with devious bosses, unlock new powers through transformations, and enjoy the modern quality of life updates. It's a 78 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $1, 90% off, Beholder 2 is a dystopian narrative adventure where you play as a new intern at the Prime Ministry of a totalitarian state, climbing the career ladder through surveillance, manipulation, and moral compromise in a world of fear and control. Spy on colleagues, dig up dirt, forge documents, and make choices that determine whether you rise as a decorated officer, a ruthless careerist, or a whistleblower with a hidden agenda. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 50% off, Art of Balance is an addictive physics-based puzzle game where you stack oddly shaped pieces to build a perfectly balanced tower without toppling it across 200 increasingly challenging levels designed to test both your skill and imagination. Play solo or drop in with friends via co-op, split screen, or online multiplayer, with a dedicated endurance mode for those chasing leaderboard glory and an extra layer of challenge. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3, 85% off, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris is an isometric action adventure that blends fast-paced combat, puzzle solving, and cooperative exploration in an ancient Egyptian setting. Play solo or with up to 3 other players as Lara teams up with rival Carter Bell and the gods Horus and Isis, battling enemies from the Egyptian underworld while navigating trap-filled tombs and cleverly designed environmental puzzles. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Dead Rising 2 is a frantic action-adventure where you play as a motorcycle racer navigating the zombie-infested streets of Fortune City while racing against time to save his young daughter with the life-saving Zombrex. You'll scavenge weapons, craft improvised tools, and explore sprawling environments full of zombies, using vehicles and creative combat to survive chaotic encounters and complete challenging missions. It's an 80 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $4, 60% off, Gunlord X is a retro-inspired 2D action platformer featuring stunning pixel art, 11 open-world stages packed with secrets, and huge boss battles, as you blast through giant landscapes and explore caverns to a pumping soundtrack. This definitive version includes tons of new features and updates, with fully customizable controls and beautiful parallax scrolling, bringing this beloved classic pixel art masterpiece to life. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 60% off, Quake 2 is an enhanced re-release of id Software's iconic military sci-fi FPS, sending you to the Strogg homeworld for a relentless campaign packed with heavy weapons and industrial atmosphere. Fight through the original story in both classic mission packs, experience the all-new Call of the Machine expansion with 28 fresh levels, and jump into online or local multiplayer with crossplay, 4K support, and restored content. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, A Musical Story is a wordless rhythm game set against a vivid 70s backdrop where you rekindle the memories of Gabriel, a young man processing his situation through music, by pressing buttons in time with a beautifully crafted 26-song original soundtrack across richly illustrated scenes. Storytelling is conveyed entirely through music and visuals alone, with a bonus hidden chapter unlocked by playing every song perfectly. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 60% off, Quake is the legendary dark fantasy first-person shooter from id Software that helped define 3D shooters, blending gothic atmosphere with blisteringly fast combat against grotesque Lovecraftian horrors. This enhanced edition modernizes the classic with 4K support, improved character models, and smoother performance, while preserving the razor-sharp level design, maze-like castles and slipgates, and multiplayer options. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, TowerFall Ascension is a fast-paced arcade archery game built around intense local multiplayer battles, where precision, timing, and positioning are key to surviving chaotic, close-quarters encounters with friends and rivals. Battle in competitive versus modes, catch arrows mid-air, and use power-ups from treasure chests, while also teaming up in co-op quest mode to fight waves of enemies, monsters, and archers. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Assault Android Cactus is an arcade-style twin-stick shooter set in a vibrant sci-fi universe where Junior Constable Cactus battles rogue robots aboard a crippled space freighter while racing against a constantly draining battery. Fight through transforming stages filled with dense enemy waves, massive boss battles, and non-stop action, blending Western-style arena shooting with quick-thinking Japanese bullet hell intensity. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Shadow Man Remastered revives the cult classic horror action-adventure with updated visuals, restored content, and expanded gameplay across live side and dead side. Hunt criminals with guns or voodoo powers, solve intricate puzzles, and explore iconic locations like Summer Camp, Salvage Yard, and Asylum Station 2, all while enjoying over 40 cinematic cutscenes, hours of voice acting, and a dark, immersive narrative. It's a 75 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $2, 50% off, Worms World Party is a chaotic turn-based artillery game where teams of worms face off in wacky, over-the-top battles across destructible landscapes. Play solo against AI or with up to 6 players locally, experiment with nearly 60 ridiculous weapons from bazookas to concrete donkeys, and enjoy endless variety with the Worm Pot, offering over 1,000 different game modes to keep the mayhem fresh. It's an 80 on Game Rankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for this yet. Hopefully we get it soon. For $3, 90% off, Killing Floor 2 is a cooperative first-person shooter where players descend into continental Europe to battle hordes of mutant specimens created by the Horzine Biotech's failed experiment just 1 month after the events of the original game. Track outbreaks, defend civilians, and exterminate waves of Zeds across various hot zones, while upgrading weapons, coordinating with mercenaries, and surviving increasingly intense combat scenarios. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $1, 85% off, Dear Esther Landmark Edition is a first-person experience set on a remote, desolate island where a lost man unravels memories of a fatal crash through fragments of a mysterious letter. Abandoning traditional gameplay, it blends breathtaking environments with a haunting soundtrack, subtle environmental storytelling, and atmospheric sound design to tell a poignant story of love, loss, and redemption. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 80% off, AI The Somnium Files is a gripping sci-fi murder mystery where a detective investigates a chilling homicide at an abandoned theme park, uncovering dark secrets and strange occurrences. You'll interrogate suspects, explore crime scenes using 3 special vision modes, and enter the dreams of key witnesses to solve puzzles and piece together the truth in a story full of twists, suspense, and morally complex choices. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Eternal Threads is a first-person time manipulation puzzle game where you play as an operative tasked with altering the choices of 6 housemates in the week before a fatal fire to ensure they all survive, without simply stopping the fire itself. Freely explore and rewrite the 7-day timeline in any order, watching how each decision ripples through events, with multiple ways to save each housemate. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 80% off, Turok is a classic first-person shooter where time-traveling warrior Turok hunts deadly dinosaurs and cunning enemies across a vast, beautifully remastered 3D world filled with secrets and hazards. You'll run, jump, climb, and aim in any direction while solving puzzles, avoiding traps, and using a massive arsenal against prehistoric and futuristic foes in fully interactive, destructible environments. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 90% off, Mortal Kombat 11 is a fast-paced fighting game where you step into the arena with a massive roster of returning legends and new warriors as time itself unravels in an epic clash against Kronika. You'll customize each character with detailed variations, skins, and abilities, then dive into tense, combo-heavy battles that blend crisp mechanics, cinematic presentation, and bone-crunching X-ray attacks that make every hit feel devastating. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $4, 90% off, Warhammer 40k Mechanicus is a critically acclaimed turn-based tactical game where you command the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Imperium's most technologically advanced army, exploring a Necron tomb world across over 50 handcrafted missions, including the Heretic DLC. Customize your tech priests, make decisions that reshape missions and determine the fate of your troops, and choose your path carefully as the Imperium's survival depends on it. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $3, 70% off, Howl is a turn-based tactical folktale set in a medieval world ravaged by a howling plague that turns any who hear the beasts into feral monsters, where you play as a prophet who can foretell enemy moves and plan up to 6 steps ahead. Battle through over 60 beautifully illustrated levels, unlocking skills like Shadow Step, Smoke Bombs, and Exploding Shot to outsmart wolves from fast predators to enormous pack leaders. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3, 90% off, Remothered Tormented Fathers is a pure survival horror experience where you follow Rosemary Reed investigating the mysterious disappearance of a young girl at the unsettling Felton House. Explore a tense, atmospheric environment focused on stealth, evasion, and psychological dread, where every sound matters and direct combat is rarely an option, forcing you to hide, distract enemies, and manage limited resources. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3, 85% off, Moonlighter is an action RPG with roguelite elements about a humble shopkeeper secretly living the life of an adventurer. You balance dungeon crawling with running your own store, carefully managing prices, customer reactions, and shop upgrades by day, while fighting monsters and gathering valuable loot by night in tightly designed, ever-shifting dungeons that reward preparation and smart risk-taking. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Frostpunk is a brutal city-building survival game where you lead the last remnants of humanity through an endless winter, constructing New London around a massive generator while making impossible moral decisions. You'll balance scarce resources, enact laws that shape society, and explore the frozen wastelands for survivors and supplies, all while managing shifting hopes as temperatures plunge. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, My Friend Pedro is an ultra-violent action platformer about friendship, imagination, and one man's mission to wipe out the criminal underworld under the guidance of a sentient banana. Using split aiming, slow motion, and ricocheting bullets, combat becomes a fluid spectacle where precision and creativity are rewarded as you chain together outrageous gunfights with cinematic flair, stylish scoring, and leaderboard-driven challenges. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 90% off, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing Complete Trilogy is a gothic noir action RPG collection that follows Van Helsing and his ghostly companion as they battle to protect Borgovia. Explore dark wilderness and grim industrial cities, battle hordes of monsters and twisted experiments, and develop powerful character builds while unraveling conspiracies and confronting your greatest nemesis. It's a 73 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 85 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $4, 80% off, Dex is a 2D action RPG set in a sprawling cyberpunk city where you fight, hack, and navigate a dangerous underworld while evading a mysterious tentacular organization and deadly adversaries. You traverse Harbor Prime making allies, choosing your approach as a silent assassin, hacker, diplomat, or gunfighter, with real-time combat, interactive dialogue, and a mature storyline that rewards exploration and strategic thinking. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, The Last Campfire is a charming puzzle adventure following a lost ember on an emotional journey through a mysterious and magical world in search of meaning and a way home. As you explore the lands beyond the Dark Forest, you'll solve clever and inventive environmental puzzles, help lost souls rekindle their fragile hope, and uncover a deeply touching story about perseverance, purpose, and the resilience of the spirit. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, PixelJunk Monsters 2 Deluxe Edition is a charming real-time tower defense game where a forest-spirit Tiki Man must protect his tribe's chibis from relentless waves of invading monsters, strategically building and leveling up towers across beautifully crafted woodland stages filled with increasingly dangerous foes. Play solo or with up to 3 friends in local or online co-op, and take on even more content with the 2 included DLC packs. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 90% off, Sherlock Holmes The Awakened Deluxe Edition is a nerve-wracking Lovecraftian adventure rebuilt with modern graphics and gameplay, placing you in the shoes of Sherlock Holmes as he investigates mysterious disappearances linked to a dark cult. Explore Europe and the US and uncover the chilling secrets of the Cthulhu mythos, with the Deluxe Edition including the Whispered Dreams side quest pack and the Detective's Wardrobe. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 90% off, the Figment 1 and 2 bundle is a surreal musical action-adventure collection set deep within the ever-shifting landscape of the human mind. Play as the embodiment of courage as you journey through hand-painted mental realms, solve environmental puzzles shaped by logic and emotion, and face off against theatrical nightmare bosses whose songs dynamically drive the rhythm and flow of each battle. It's a 76 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to finish both games. For $4, 90% off, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 is a tense tactical shooter where you play a contract sniper assassin tasked with eliminating high-value targets in a lawless region along the Lebanese and Syrian borders. You'll engage in extreme long-range sniping, plan and execute highly replayable contracts, and use stealth, strategy, and a wide arsenal of realistic weapons to overcome objectives across 5 expansive Middle Eastern maps. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Arise, A Simple Story is a heartfelt narrative adventure that guides you through the emotional lives of 2 people where memories awaken and time itself bends to your will in an expressive world. You explore beautifully crafted landscapes that shift with the passage of time, reliving moments of love, loss, joy, and sorrow while manipulating seconds, days, and entire seasons to uncover the full story and its hidden emotional nuances. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Hob is a third-person action-adventure where you explore a mysterious, crumbling planet in peril, uncovering its secrets as you traverse shifting landscapes and restore a dying world. You'll use your mechanical glove arm to grapple across gaps, warp between platforms, and interact with ancient machinery, while exploring ruins, meeting strange creatures, and discovering a story told entirely through the environment. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 90% off, Strange Brigade is a third-person action-adventure where a team of daring heroes battles the resurrected Witch Queen Sateki and her terrifying army of mummified monstrosities. Explore perilous ruins, solve challenging puzzles, collect hidden treasure, and unleash devastating magical powers and prototype weapons like the Krakatoa, Chillburster, and Blunderbuss, either solo or in 2 to 4 player online co-op for non-stop thrilling combat. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, This War of Mine Final Cut is a survival game where you guide a group of civilians trying to endure daily life inside a besieged, war-torn city during a brutal conflict. Players manage a crumbling shelter, scavenge dangerous locations at night, and make morally difficult decisions while balancing hunger, illness, and safety against limited resources, emotional strain, and harsh consequences inspired by real conflicts. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $1, 50% off, We Were Here is a tense cooperative puzzle adventure where you and a partner trapped in a frozen, abandoned castle with only a walkie-talkie to communicate, creating high-stakes tension. Solve intricate puzzles, explore rooms, and rely entirely on clear communication as one player navigates the halls while the other remains confined, testing teamwork, strategy, logic, and trust in increasingly clever and challenging ways. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $2, 60% off, Doom 64 is a classic first-person shooter focused on ripping through Hell's forces in a darker, more atmospheric continuation of the original Doom formula. You blast through over 30 tightly designed levels packed with relentless enemies, clever level layouts, and labyrinthine secrets, all enhanced by moodier lighting, unsettling sound design, and an oppressive, haunting soundtrack that sets it apart from earlier entries. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Watam is a physics-based adventure from Katamari creator Keita Takahashi, where you play as the lonely mayor in a dark, forgotten world filled with quirky objects waiting to be reunited and rediscover happiness. You'll explore surreal environments as you befriend over 100 characters, everything from clouds and flowers to toilets and fruit, joining hands, stacking, and exploding with laughter in joyful, unpredictable chaos. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales is a rich and beautifully crafted single-player RPG that blends narrative-driven exploration with clever puzzles, engaging storytelling, and deep card-based combat. Set in the dark and war-torn world of The Witcher, you'll follow Meve, the fierce queen of Lyria and Rivia, as she faces a looming Nilfgaardian invasion and must reclaim her throne through grit, sacrifice, and cunning leadership. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.